Hi again, welcome back to my Ultimate Driver YouTube HD channel. We're going to be taking a look at doing the bay park now. Just through the right hand side of the windscreen you might be able to see a green light post with a red warning sign on it. I'm going to use that car space for this demonstration. So I'll be driving the car into a particular position and then I'll be reversing into that car bay. So first of all, in this video we're going to be looking at doing this bay park as if we're arriving back at the test centre, and you'll be doing the bay park when you arrive at the end of your test. The other way they can ask you to do this is right at the beginning of your test, starting in the bay. So we've got a few different ways to do each one. So we're going to start by looking at when we arrive back at the test centre, reversing back into a bay. So the start position for this manoeuvre is critical. It's really important that you get it right. There are two reference points to get us in this start position. The first one is being a car's width away from the actual car spaces themselves. So we're out with the Mini Cooper S today, so I'll be stopping as far away from the spaces to the point where I'd feel like I could squeeze another little Mini Cooper S in next to us. That's the first reference point. The second reference point is I'm going to drive the car forwards to the fourth line away from the space that I want to be in. A lot of instructors will teach you this using the third line, which is absolutely fine. As you'll see, it all works out exactly the same. I do use the fourth line for a reason, and I'll explain it while I'm doing it. So the first thing I want to do, I want to prepare the car to go. First gear, I'm not using any gas, just grabbing the driving point, having a look around before I shoot off. And now I'm driving across towards the car spaces, and I'll show you this from several different camera angles by the time I'm finished. Adding the steering onto the right hand side now, because I believe this is going to take me roughly a Mini's width or a car width away from the car spaces, which is what I've done. Now looking out of my left window, I can see the first line that I'll be reversing left around into the bay. And again, that'll make more sense from a different camera angle, which I'll show you at some point. So I now have to drive up to the fourth line. Now, when I feel like my left mirror is in line with the fourth white parking line up, then I'm going to stop. So I'm driving up now. There's the second line, the third line, and the fourth line's there now, and I'm stopping. I'm now in exactly the correct start position to make this manoeuvre quite easy for myself. So I've popped the car into reverse now. I'm going to start by looking through the blind spot, observation wise, looking right throughout all the glass in the car, coming round to the left, looking out of the back window now over my left shoulder. I'm happy it's all clear. Handbrake down, just being very gentle with the driving point. I've come halfway through the space and I'm now putting all the steering onto the left. Now I've got my left mirror pointing down at the moment to help me guide into the space exactly. Now you'll see, using this method I won't have to adjust my steering at all until I'm completely in the bay. Just having a look over my shoulder, checking the blind spot, making sure it's all clear. I'm parallel in the space now, so I'm quickly taking all the steering off, and I'm going to slowly move back until I'm in the spot. I'm there now. Foot brake, neutral, handbrake, and I'm done. So as you could see there, because we had the start position completely accurate, we didn't really have to do any adjusting with the steering throughout the reverse phase. It was quite simply all the steering on, wait for the car to drop into the space and be parallel, and as soon as it's parallel, quickly whip the steering off so the wheels are then straight again, and then just continue reversing straight back. And whilst I was doing that, I was looking up out the back window over my left shoulder, and a couple of times I checked the blind spot over my right shoulder to make sure I was visually seeing anything that I could have come into contact with while I was carrying out the manoeuvre. Now, as far as your test goes, as long as you're in the lines, you're in the lines. That's all you need to worry about. Even if there's only just a few millimeters or a centimetre spare on one side and there's 30-40 centimetres spare on the other, if you're in the lines, you're in. It doesn't have to be even. And even if you're not perfectly straight, doesn't mean you haven't passed, so don't worry about it too much. Now remember, If you mess something up and you're reversing back and you haven't quite dropped it where you need to and it's not between the lines, or you're looking in your mirror and you're thinking, oh, I'm on top of the white line, don't worry. Remember in your test, simply put the car in first gear, look all around observations before you go, drive forwards, and on the drive forwards, just go very, very slowly. Think about what you need to do to make the reverse phase coming back into the car space as easy as possible. So if you're too far to the left and the car's sat on the left white line, gently steer out to the right. You don't have to steer very much, and then gently steer back to the left to straighten the car up again. So this is while we're driving forwards. And then look in your mirror, and if the lines are now looking like they're even on both sides of the car, stop where you are, prepare in reverse, all round observations, and then while looking out of the back window over your left shoulder, gently and slowly reverse the car back between the lines. And if you still haven't got it right and you're still touching one of the white lines or you're not sure, don't worry, keep it all safe, look around first, drive forwards, and then have another go at bringing it back. I've seen plenty of tests where people have had 2 or 3 attempts, and as long as you're getting close and you're getting better and better each time, the examiners will tend to let you continue while you're trying to fix it up. Remember, they're not looking for perfect drivers, they're looking for safe drivers. So keep your observations good, especially to the back of the car when you're reversing, and you'll be right. So in another video, we'll be looking at how we carry out this maneuver from within the car space, so within the bay.